Today we're going to be talking about what you need to do if you think that your music has wound up on a bot playlist. Bot streaming playlist? Streaming bot playlist. Hey, my name's Joey Clarkson, and I'm a singer-songwriter, voiceover artist, and video producer living in the southwest of the UK. That's right, we moved, and if you want to know more about that, you can check out our vlog channel right up here. But enough about that, let's jump into this video. Chances are if you landed on this video, you have noticed a spike in your Spotify streaming stats, and you think that that spike might be from a bot playlist, and you're worried that that song, or worse, your entire artist profile could be banned from Spotify. It's a real problem that's happening to real artists just like you. You're also probably hoping that that spike in streaming numbers is actually legit and that you're just starting to get some kind of recognition and growth on the platform, which is still a possibility, so don't rule it out just yet. Either way, you want to be safe and protect yourself and your music, and that's exactly what we're going to be covering in today's video. Before I dive into all of that, I do want to say that I am by no means an expert. I am just a singer-songwriter, another independent artist like yourself, and I'm sharing what I learn as I learn it so I can hopefully help others along the way. All right, now that that is out of the way, let's get to the good stuff, or the helpful stuff. I don't think anything about this video is particularly good, except for the results at the end. So, last week I noticed a spike in my Spotify streaming numbers. Let's play a little game of Spot the Suspicious Activity. I mean, I shouldn't say suspicious, but for me, and probably for you, there's an obvious point in this graph that shows significantly more streams than the other days of the month. To put this into perspective, on my typical day, I would see between 13 to 20 listeners, sometimes as low as 11. And on this one particular day, it went up to 661. That's a lot of listeners for me. I actually noticed this spike on my actual Spotify for Artists app because I could see that I had like 8 listeners and 10 listeners and 12 listeners right now. And the frustrating thing was that I actually had to wait a few days to get the full stats to see how many people had listened on this day because this didn't come from a new release. So as soon as I had this information readily available to me, I sat down and I started digging a little deeper. And what I wanted to look for was whether or not this was coming from like one song or several songs or a song from a playlist. One of the things that could have helped boost this was the fact that I did a UGC ad for CD Baby that had just launched on the same day. So I thought maybe these listeners are coming from people who are checking my music out after they've seen an advert for CD Baby. But this is what I found. When I go into music and I click on my single Worth the Wait, you can see that the spike here coincides pretty well with the activity that I saw on my overall graph. There was just over 1,100 streams of this song on that day. This is one of our more recent songs that we released under this artist's name, but that is still, as you can see, significantly higher than 2 streams to 10 streams a day that we were seeing before. When I toggle over to listeners, I can see that I actually had 651 listeners for that song on that day. This does, to me, look very suspicious. I was very optimistic. I really, really did want that to be real, but I was suspicious, and I know the dangers of being added to a bot playlist, especially for smaller artists. Now, when I toggled over to playlist ads, I could also see that, look at that, Thursday, September 12th. It was added to a playlist as well. That was the warning sign for me. So now I know that my song has been added to a playlist. It's received a lot of streams in one single day. What do I do next? Well, I'm just gonna let you know what I did, and then you can decide for yourself whether or not it's something that you wanna do. The first thing I did was reach out to my distributor, and I let them know exactly what happened and why I was concerned to cover my bases. Then I reached out to Spotify, their customer support, and they got back to me pretty much immediately and redirected me to the Spotify for Artists chat that's available in the back end of your Spotify for Artists sign-in, login page. I'm gonna go ahead and read you the entire exchange of information with them, and I'm probably gonna speed it up to 2 times the speed because you guys are busy and you've got things to do. Hey there, I'm worried about an increase in activity on my artist account. I could be jumping the gun, but there was a huge uptick in streaming numbers from like 20 daily listeners up to over 700 that coincided with the day that a paid ad I provided UGC content for my distributor CD Baby went live. I'm hoping that the increase in activity is a result of people having checked out my music from the ad, but with all the scams going around right now, I want to make sure that I haven't been added to a bot playlist and that I'm not at risk of having my music removed/banned from Spotify. From what I understand, there isn't a lot that I can do. Whatever the case is, this is not a result of me attempting to game the system. Don't game the system. If these are from a playlist/fraudulent streaming, I want to make sure that I have my music removed from the offending playlist, the streams corrected on my music stats, and the offending playlist removed from your platform ASAP so that this doesn't happen to other artists in the future. My performance name is Joey Clarkson. Obviously, I would be ecstatic if this was the result of non-fraudulent streaming and the hard work we've poured into our projects, but I've been in this long enough to be skeptical. Thank you so much for your help. I'm looking forward to hearing back from you, Joey. They responded with, we work with distributors to combat artificial streaming and we notify them when we detect significant artificial streaming on content they delivered. This is why it's so important to reach out to your distributor as well. If you're concerned about your streams or music promotion, we recommend reviewing all your promotional and marketing efforts. You should only work with trusted services and avoid ones that offer to guarantee streams, followers, or playlist placement in return for money. If you're ever working with anybody who guarantees you any of those things, you should immediately stop because that is a scam. They're not real. There are no shortcuts in this industry. They then go on to say, we can't remove songs from other Spotify users' personal playlists, but we put significant engineering resources and research into detecting, mitigating, and removing artificial streaming activity on Spotify, including via listener playlists. Whether or not I agree with them on that is beside the point because I really don't think they're doing enough. So I'm going to go back to reading this and we're going to talk a bit more about that at the end of this video. Would you like to report a playlist? I mean, it's a bot. It's a bot. Obviously, it didn't answer my question right away. So I said, I would like help determining which playlist has added my song, as this information isn't readily available within the Spotify for Artists backend, so you can investigate it and determine if it's a problem. Then they asked, do you still need help? Obviously, I still need help. So I said, I'd like to speak to an advisor. They said, transferring you to an advisor. Our advisors aim to get back to your messages within 5 minutes. If you can't stick around, you can return to your conversation later. And then I was immediately contacted to a real person, which I did appreciate. Hi, I'm your advisor, Vivian Daly. Hope you're doing well. Give me a moment to review your details. Gosh, I hope I pronounced their name properly. So I said thank you. They said, you're welcome. To begin with, could you please send over your artist profile link? So I said, absolutely. And then I sent them my profile link. And then I said, and the song that has received the higher streams that I'm worried about is, and I attached the link for Worth the Wait. They said, thanks for the links. Let me check. Please give me a moment while I check this for you. So I said, thank you. And they said, you're welcome. Important to be polite, folks. They then asked, could you please confirm if you've used any third-party promotional tools and if your song was added to any bot playlist? I said, I haven't used any third-party promotional tools, and as far as I'm aware, we have not been added to any bot playlist. I saw the uptick in streaming numbers, and I am worried that we have been, which is why I've reached out to Spotify now. We are going to be using Eric Alber PR for a full campaign in the future, and have used him once in the past, 2019, and I just had a UGC advert talking to the camera about my positive experiences go live for CD Baby, which has paid reach across Meta. The advert went live on the same day as the increase in streams, but I'm not sure if they're connected. They said, thanks for confirming, I completely understand your concern. They then said, this will take a few minutes, so please stay in our chat box. I said, thank you. They said, you're welcome. They then said, thanks for waiting. Upon checking backstage, I can see that everything is perfectly all right from our end. Stream count will be accurately counted on Spotify. Stream counts for your artist profile has been consistent. That means that your stream counts are going up and down based on your listener trends. You might often see a spike in streams or a stream drop depending on the users as well as the playlists that are featuring your song. I said, oh, thank you so much. What a huge relief. I feel like a weight has been lifted from my shoulders because it genuinely had been. They said, it's my pleasure. I hope I answered all your questions for the day. Is there anything else I can help you with? And I asked if I would be able to see a copy of this message and have it sent to my email so I can update my partner later. And they said, for your reference, you can get a copy of the transcript sent to your email at the end of this chat. And I said, thank you very much. And that was the end of our interaction. So in this case, my song wasn't added to a bot playlist. Obviously, I'm over the moon that these were not bot streams and that they were actually real, legit people listening to my music. But I'm also really grateful for how easy it was to speak to somebody at Spotify and flag this issue with them. Which leads us to the final point of this video. What is Spotify going to do about this problem? Artists are getting added to bot playlists and scams all the time, and we have very little control over it. I'm hoping that taking precautionary steps like this will help flag to Spotify that this is a real problem for smaller artists that they need to be taking more seriously, and that they need to step up their game to protect the smaller artists on their platform. But I'm skeptical that they will. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Is there a glaring solution to this problem that Spotify's overlooking? And while you're leaving those comments, I want to leave you with a friendly reminder. It's okay to be constructive. I welcome constructive criticism, but please try to be kind as well. If you're gonna be a dick, I'm gonna delete your comment. And that goes for comments that are directed to anybody who's leaving comments on this channel, not just myself. This is a safe place for myself and for my audience to have conversations about the music business. And if you can't participate in those conversations in a civilized way, then this isn't the place for you. If you want to learn more about bot playlists and why they pose such a danger to independent artists, Andrew Southworth has a great video, and I'm going to link to it right up here. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give it a thumbs up, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.